When an individual stands before a judge today, the justice process rests on an expectation of blind fairness. Modern legal architecture is designed around the preservation of human dignity and the possibility of rehabilitation. But for much of history, even a minor social breach could trigger a sequence of pain engineered to last for days. These meticulously designed punishments functioned as calculated technologies of state control. From ancient Persia to the vast medieval empires of Europe, the state needed a mechanism to guarantee absolute obedience from its subjects. To understand why the invention of modern human rights was necessary, we have to look at the specific mechanics of this weaponized justice. Rulers often used public squares as theaters for deterrence, and by turning executions into high-profile events, the state ensured that fear permeated every level of civilian life. In Europe, the breaking wheel was a primary tool of this public display. Guards shattered the victim's limbs with iron bars, but took care to keep them alive, leaving them exposed on the wheel for hours or days to maximize the visibility of the punishment. Impalement required even more anatomical precision. The executioner drove a sharpened pole through the body while carefully avoiding vital organs. This ensured the victim would survive on display, suspended in midair for the crowds to see. Other regions relied on massive cauldrons of boiling water or oil. The slow, agonizing nature of this method made it a highly effective tool for projecting authority to a large audience. In these systems, the death of the criminal mattered less than the process. The physical body became a gruesome billboard, advertising the state's absolute power to anyone who watched. Beyond the shock of immediate violence, some punishments were engineered to destroy the victim's mind through slow, methodical humiliation. Ancient Persia utilized scaphism, a method specifically designed to extend the execution process over multiple days. The victim was trapped between two boats, force-fed milk and honey, and left in stagnant marshland. By weaponizing the environment and swarming insects, the executioners ensured a slow decay of both the body and the spirit. Imperial China practiced lingqi, known as death by 1,000 cuts. Tied to a post in a public square, the victim endured hundreds of small incisions over several hours, ensuring that the mental dread of the final blow was as agonizing as the physical pain. These methods were effective because they systematically dismantled a human being's dignity long before causing their physical death. Other systems moved the violence behind closed doors, using specialized devices to extract confessions and maintain control through institutional dread. The rack was a purely mechanical tool designed to break the human body. By pulling limbs in opposite directions, it forced compliance and confession through the literal destruction of the victim's joints. In ancient Greece, the brazen bull merged execution with auditory terror. Victims were locked inside a hollow bronze statue above a lit fire. Engineered with internal pipes, it transformed their screams into the roar of a beast, hiding the human reality of pain. Then there is the Iron Maiden, a human-shaped cabinet lined with spikes. While historians debate how often it was actually used, its place in our historical memory shows how the mythology of cruelty became a tool of control in its own right. Eventually, the reputation of these devices was so potent that the threat of their use was often enough to secure a confession. The height of these systemic displays occurred in places like medieval England, where hanging, drawing, and quartering turned state execution into a complex, multi-stage ritual of total destruction. By the early 20th century, the abolition of methods like lynching signaled the end of the state's reliance on public agony as a standard legal tool. This transition required a shift in the very purpose of justice, moving from the performance of absolute power to the systematic protection of the individual. The creation of modern human rights, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, served as a direct legal reaction to this long history of state-sanctioned cruelty. Today's justice system acts as a hard-won shield, ensuring that the horrifying architecture of the brazen bull and the breaking wheel remains a closed chapter of our past.